testify about what you heard, what you saw, and what you know.
She's fair.
I don't have a hearing problem. This ear works good. This one works even better.
She's firm.
I'm not responsible for that ticket, and I'm not going to pay for it.
Who says you're not going to pay for it? I'll make that decision, not you.
She's honest.
What you have to say?
All I have to
Nothing.
say.
This is Justice with Judge Maybelline. Eric Roberts is suing boxing instructor Chris Ortega in the amount of $1,801.50. He says during a workout with the defendant, he sustained an injury to his leg that kept him out of work for a month. Mr. Ortega claims the plaintiff overextended himself by not following instructions and trying to show off.
In the matter of Eric Roberts versus Chris Ortega, Mr. Roberts, you're suing him because of an injury that you incurred when training, doing some boxing training.
That is correct.
Okay, tell me about it.
Well, I was at Runyon Canyon one day trying to get a run in, and I came up by the yoga gardens, and I saw Chris here teaching a boxing lesson. And he seemed my weight and kind of my size, so I figured I'd never done any kind of self-defense or something. I approached him and I asked if he would take on a new student. I'd seen him training multiple people, so I figured that he was good at his job. And so he said absolutely, that we would meet every Saturday, just one day a week, $100 every week. I asked if I had to sign anything, but he said he liked to do things the old-fashioned way, with just a handshake and my word. And I said, all right. When we began training, I will admit it was very tough. I had trouble picking some things up. He seemed incredibly impatient with me, kind of yelling at me rather than encouraging. And I get it, boxing is a tough sport. But by the end of it, I started getting it a little bit. I felt confident. You know, I wanted to go back. I wanted to learn more. So at the second week, I went back. He was teaching me the right hook. And to really make that punch pop, you got to kind of twist your knee.
Don't do it.
No? Okay. No, I won't. And so I kept forgetting to do that twist. And so he kept yelling at me to do it, and I was getting a little frustrated. And finally, in the middle of me trying to do it, he came behind me, and he put his hands on my waist. And he did the twist for me, but he overextended me. I hear a pop, and I went down. My knee had never been in so much pain. So, and he immediately began to apologize, which made me feel like he did something wrong. And so, you know, he helped me down to my car. He offered to drive me to the urgent care, but a buddy of mine lived right around the street. So I just called him instead, went to the emergency room, found out that I had actually torn a ligament in my knee. And I missed 4 weeks of work at the lighting warehouse where I work.
And that's the $1,800?
Yes.
Okay, let me see something from urgent care.
Okay.
Okay, it tells me about all the things that, it tells me about the prognosis, but it doesn't say that that's what happened to you. So did you wear a brace or any type of weight or what? I
was in an air cast for a few weeks.
Okay.
And then once I got out of that cast, there was still some immobility. I was much slower at work, and my boss picked up on this.
All right, so this $900.50, which is your paycheck, is that bi-weekly, bi-monthly, weekly, what?
Weekly.
Excuse me?
Oh, bi-weekly, I'm sorry.
So, and you missed 4 weeks?
I did.
Okay. That's the $1,801. Okay. So you're not asking for any money regarding urgent care. Your insurance covered it or something?
Yep. No, I'm not asking for any of the money that I paid, the $200 that I paid him for both sessions or any of the urgent care, just the money that I missed from work.
All right. Let me hear from you, Mr. Ortega.
Your Honor, I'm a nationally ranked former champion, Golden Glove. You can internet search it if you want. Okay, I've been teaching these classes in the park for the past 4 years. Never have I had this problem. It boils down to him not taking direction and him having no coordination whatsoever.
So you've had students who don't take directions and don't have good coordination before, right?
Correct. However, they didn't overextend themselves the way he did. He basically, I don't know what kind of action movies he's watching, but everything is overdone. Personally, I think he was trying to impress the girls that were in the yoga section of the park that we were next to.
Oh, so I was trying to impress the girls.
Everything you do is
all right, wait. We're not going to have a boxing match here. Okay, now,
Sorry, Your Honor.
you say he was uncoordinated.
Uncoordinated. I
When
don't
did
know
you
what warehouse
discover that he
worked.
was uncoordinated?
The very first day, I'm teaching him the most basic punch, the left jab. That took the entire day. I've had students who are 12 and 13 learn that in quicker time. He's basically doing moves that you see off of TV or on movies, trying to impress people that are watching. It's not realistic. I told him, you can't throw your body around. You have to follow my instructions or you can get hurt. He just refuses to listen.
Okay, and when did you discover that he wouldn't take directions?
After the first day. Now, I decided to take him on anyway because he looked like he needed the confidence boost. That's what boxing is really all about anyway. You want to walk around confident knowing that if something happens, you can handle the situation. Okay, he's a little bit of a cornball. I don't know what his problem, I don't know what warehouse you work in, bro, but they must have him doing, I don't know.
But if
I
you
don't know what
find,
they got him doing.
if you have a student that's uncoordinated, doesn't that mean you have to take a little bit more time with that student? And it's obvious that they're not going to pick it up as fast as a student who's well coordinated?
Absolutely. That's why I continued the training with him. On the second week, this is the thing he's talking about right now.
So why would you go from the left jab to the right jab? He hasn't learned the left jab yet.
You know, he did master it, but it took all day.
Coming up on Justice with Judge Maybelline.
Show me on Will the move that he said that he was trying to make and he didn't do it right.
Sure, not a problem.
And later,
So now are you mad because she won?
No,
There
ma'am,
it is, Your Honor.
no,
You are
I
good
am
at this.
not.
You are
I
good
am
at this, Judge
happy.
Yes,
I am
you,
so
yes,
happy
yes,
for
you
LaShonda.
are.
No.
Yes, she did.
No.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are,
LaShonda,
girl.
you
Yes,
ought to
you
be
are.
ashamed of yourself,
You
LaShonda.
brought me here. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Okay,
Wait. Stop. Both of you. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves, both.
Justice with Judge Maybelline. You're watching Justice with Judge Maybelline. We're back with the case of Eric Roberts, who is suing Chris Ortega for personal injury and loss of income.
Show me on Will the move that he said that he was trying to make and he didn't do it right.
Sure, not a problem. Now, let's say he squared up, right?
Will, don't hit
I'm
him.
not going to square up right with him.
Well,
What I'm going to do is I'm going to give him my left.
So you're
That's
teaching the
that's what
right jab.
This is the right cross. Like, first you start with the left jab. That was the first lesson. And to come across, that's how you do it. You have to do a certain pivot on your right.
A
If you can
pivot
see-
on your right foot.
On your right. You just keep the left there, keep it straight, and you come across.
Okay?
Now, if you move your left foot, you're going to overextend and hurt yourself.
Oh.
Now, we were going through this for a couple of hours.
So you have to balance and keep your left foot still.
It's a science. So I'm teaching him this for a couple of hours. He's not getting it. So in order to help him, like I've done with plenty of others, if you don't mind, I put my hands on his hip to try to teach him how to pivot correctly. Of course, he wants to do one of these action movie scenes and do some kind of, I don't know what he was doing, but he overextended himself. He ends up falling. Now, I take him to his car. I offer to take him to the emergency room. He refuses. He ends up calling one of his friends.
Let me ask you, when in your mind is the trainer responsible for injuries to the student? If any, if at all.
If the instructor is giving incorrect instruction, that's one thing. But if my daughter gets hurt doing gymnastics, I'm not going to sue her coach because she had an accident. Now, if my daughter wasn't following instructions, does that make the coach incompetent? No, I'm giving him the correct instructions, and instead he's trying to impress people around and try to make these
Well,
movie
you really
moves.
don't know what he was trying to do. You just said he was uncoordinated. Just accept the fact that the man is uncoordinated.
And he did not follow instructions. There are plenty of people that I deal with that are not coordinated, but that gets worked on when they follow directions.
All I was asking for was a little patience. I get maybe I'm a little clumsy, but I'm not clearly not as clumsy as you're
If I
making
wasn't
out to be.
patient, I wouldn't have taken you on the second day, bro. How much sense does that make?
You know, it's a difficult line.
Yeah.
It's a difficult line to draw. But the problem I have with you and Mr. Ortega, Mr. Roberts, is this. Anytime we get involved in sports and sports-related activities for fun and for recreation, we take a risk that we're going to get hurt. You made a move. It cost you. You can't really blame him.
I can blame him for putting his hands on me
That's what
without
teachers
telling
do.
me.
Teachers
blame me for
always
being
do
a
that
klutz?
when they're trying to show you how to do something. You've seen teachers touch the student so they can help you make the move and help you make the turn properly.
Quite
When he
slowly.
did that to you, you probably became uncomfortable and tried to go ahead on and move your body without letting him move you and show you how to move it. Teachers do that when they're trying to help you. He just did it with him.
I didn't even know his hands were on me until my knee was
know.
all done.
Unfortunately, Miss.
Come on now.
Unfortunately, I have to deny your request. Judgment for the defendant.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge Maybelline has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim is denied.
Learn my lesson. I'll do more research.
Next time I won't get in the ring with a lost cause.
Coming up.
You
Yes,
ought to
you
be
are.
ashamed of yourself,
You
LaShonda.
brought me here. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Okay, wait. Stop. Both of you. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves, both.
Justice with Judge Maybelline. You're watching Justice with Judge Maybelline. Kim Randall is suing her former friend LaShonda Jones in the amount of $4,000. She says she fell in the defendant's shower and was forced to pull out of a singing competition as a result.
In the matter of Kim Randall versus LaShonda Jones, I understand this is two friends of over 20 years suing each other because you fell in her shower or somewhere in her house.
Yes, ma'am.
You're really suing your friend of 20 years. And you want $4,000 from her at that.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you convinced me how a friendship of 20 years got to this point. Please tell me.
LaShonda and I did gospel competitions together. And one day she decided that she was going to move to LA because she wanted to be closer to her family. And I accepted that decision, but we both decided that we were going to compete on our own. And she moved to LA, and unfortunately, shortly after that, she had a bad accident, Your Honor, that landed her in a wheelchair.
Don't act like you care, girl.
I do care, LaShonda.
That's why I'm
Ms.
here.
Jones, hold on. Ms. Jones,
Yes, Judge Maybelline.
because you're in a wheelchair,
Yes, ma'am.
rules don't change in terms of talking.
Yes, Your Honor. I do
It's
apologize.
different in terms of standing, but not talking.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you still have to wait your turn.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor. So I heard about a competition that was going on in LA, and I thought that that would really lift her spirits. So I didn't hesitate to pay the entry fees and book a ticket to go to LA to reunite with my friend so that we can, enter this gospel competition and kill it like we did in the old days. And when I greeted LaShonda at the door, I was kind of already in a potty dance, so to speak, gave her a quick hug. Where's the restroom? And she directed me down the hall to the left. I go down the hall to the left, and before I can even flick the light switch on, Your Honor, I was on my bottom. And you see, I'm kind of
Well, so what happened?
I tried to break my fall with my hand, and the only thing I broke was my wrist, Your Honor.
Okay, but what made you fall?
Well, once the lights came on and I got up, I was soaked with water. There was water everywhere, Your Honor.
It was water on the floor.
On the floor. I feel that she at least owes me the money, my medical bill, to reimburse me for my medical bills and my physical therapy. Your Honor, honestly, I could have sued her for so much more. I could have sued her for the flight. I could have sued her for...
No, you couldn't.
I could sue her for lost
You could have
income.
sued her for the flight. She didn't do anything about your flight.
Well, Your Honor, I wasn't able to participate in
Well,
the
that's
gospel
okay, but it
competition.
wasn't. She didn't do anything about the flight.
Okay, well...
Your fault. You was already off that plane. So, no,
Thank
let's
you,
not
Your
go
Honor.
there. Ms.
Thank
Jones, let me hear from you.
When she came, she didn't say, greet me with a kiss, Your Honor. She zipped past me so fast, it was like a wild banshee, Your Honor. I didn't see her coming.
Well, I know
Nothing.
that when she did one of my numbers, when I go to my sister's house, it's like, I'm coming through. I call in advance, though, and I said, girl, I'm coming through. Open the door.
And she
Open the
did.
door and get out the way.
She did,
Clear
Your
the room. Clear it. Give me some
She
space.
did. She called and she says, I'm pulling up. I said, girl, I'm so happy to see you. Yay, girl. I'm in the shower. I'm going to jump right out and grab a robe, and I will meet you at the door.
Oh, you were in the shower.
Yes, Your Honor. So, and I informed her that...
Nope. Don't you dare interrupt.
Thank you, Your Honor. At that time, she did not inform me that she was in a rush to the bathroom, because if I'm in a rush to the bathroom, I'm going to say, girlfriend, I got to use the bathroom. I'll have the bathroom ready and open because I got to use it. She did not inform me, Your Honor. She said nothing. So when I opened the door, she says, hey, girl, zips right by me. And before I could say, Kimmy, excuse me, this, the plaintiff, the bathroom door is wet. Boom, I hear a boom, Your Honor. She had gone down. But I heard no screams, no cries, nothing that a natural person who
Well, everybody
fell
fall, don't
naturally.
scream and cry. That's
Okay,
everybody's
so I didn't
fault.
think anything was wrong with her. However, Your Honor, I took it upon myself to contact the paramedics because I care for my friend.
Who else was supposed to contact her? She on the floor in the bathroom.
Coming up.
You
Yes,
ought to
you
be
are.
ashamed of yourself,
You
LaShonda.
brought me here. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Okay,
Only
wait. Stop. Both of you. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves, both.
Justice with Judge Maybelline. You're watching Justice with Judge Maybelline. We're back with the case of Kim Randall, who is suing LaShonda Jones for personal injury and medical expenses.
Well, I guess so. You could have waited. I don't know, but
Oh, come on
I
now.
care for her, so
You see
I
what
wanted
I'm
to make
saying?
sure. Excuse me.
She's changed,
I
Your
need
Honor.
you to be
Excuse
quiet,
me.
though.
I don't have time for
Miss
foolishness
Jones,
like we're
Miss
here.
Jones, talk to me.
I'm
This
so
way.
sorry, Your Honor. I'm just
Okay.
so disgusted with this. This is very, very sad for my friend of 20 years. However,
So
I
you
took
called the
care of her.
paramedics and they
Yes.
came to get her.
Went with them to the hospital, Your Honor. The next day I had to go to the competition, so I was not able to stay. Okay, but I did make sure that she was okay. At that time, she did not state anything about I'm going to sue you. This is what's wrong, and I did find out that her wrist was broken, but that was due to her negligence.
So
Your
did you
Honor.
go to the competition and sing by yourself?
Yes, I did, and I
So
won,
was
Your
it
Honor.
that you didn't really want to sing with her?
I believe
No,
that's
Your
true.
Honor. This has been my friend for 20
I
years.
understand that, but lately you had been singing alone.
Well, I don't need to sing with her, but I do enjoy singing with her.
I know, but you've been singing alone lately. It's been a while since the two of you sang together.
Yes, because I moved.
So
Yes.
were you ready to
No.
do this competition solo?
No, ma'am. I
Okay.
was not.
So you went on and did the competition solo?
Yes, too.
Did you win?
Yes, I did.
So now are you mad because you won?
No,
There
ma'am,
it is, Your Honor.
no,
You are
I
good
am
at this.
not.
You are
I
good
am
at this, Your
happy.
Honor.
I
Yes,
am
you.
so
Yes,
happy
yes,
for
you
LaShonda.
are.
No.
Yes, she did. Yes, you are. Yes, you are,
LaShonda,
girl.
you
Yes,
ought to
you
be
are.
ashamed of yourself,
You
LaShonda.
brought me here. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Okay, wait.
Stop. Both of you. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves, both.
Judge Maybelline's verdict when Justice with Judge Maybelline return. You're watching Justice with Judge Maybelline.
You know she didn't mean for you to fall. She was too
No.
happy to see you. You said that. You all were happy to see each other. It was a freak thing. Sometimes when things happen to us, we just want to find somebody to blame. But you don't always have to blame. You can just look at it and say, it was an accident.
I am sorry, Kimmy, and I do love you, and I don't want our friendship to end. I really don't. I'm really sorry, and I'm sorry that your wrist got broken, and I'm sorry that you felt bad. I'm sorry about everything. I'm sorry.
Thank you, LaShonda.
And what
That's
about
all
you?
I ever needed.
I do love you.
And I apologize for anything that I've done. You know what I'm saying? For bringing you
court?
here.
Okay.
Yes, LaShonda, I am.
Okay. I'm going to leave you as you are, but I want you to go over and give your friend a hug. And the two of you.
Sorry, I love you.
I love you too, Kimmy.
Thank you, Judge.
Now, you only hurt your wrist. You didn't hurt your throat. You didn't hurt your body. You didn't hurt the rest of you. I know you were in a little pain from the fall, but now you're giving another opportunity to compete again. So just be thankful for that. Be thankful you still have your voice. Go get something together, write some songs, and go sing again. And practice what you sing, most of all. Court's adjourned.
Judge Maybelline has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim is denied.
LaShonda, I'm so sorry I brought you to court, but I was truly hurt.
I understand, and we'll always be friends, girl.
This has been a production.